Let's talk to Eric Cantor, former House Majority Leader, now Vice Chairman and Managing Director at Moelis and Company. Eric, do you have a problem with Sarah Bloom Raskin? And if so, do you have multiple problems? What takes precedence with you?
Yeah. Good morning, Joe. Yes, I've got problems. And, sitting as an observer now, looking to see what Pat Toomey and the banking committee Republicans are doing. I mean, obviously, I'm in full support of what they're doing. And let's just sort of stipulate here, this kind of conduct, boycotting committees, not showing up to deprive a chairman of a quorum is not something new. There is long precedent on both sides of the aisle for this to occur. And, if you listen to Pat and Kevin, I heard earlier in your show, and talking about the reasons for their doing so, that's fine. But I can tell you now, as someone very concerned about our markets, our economy, certainly always about our country. I mean, I do not think she's the right one to go on the board of the Federal Reserve. I don't think that anyone, if they really thought about it, would think that putting someone on the Federal Reserve to allow for that entity to begin to allocate capital is something that fits within that body's mandate. So I think it's a terrible move. And frankly, I think from the Biden administration, it is not true to their word that they want to try and work in a bipartisan way.
I think Ms. Raskin has said that she would not do that, but with a pretty long appointment, I guess you think that you don't necessarily believe that.
Well, let me tell you, so again, I'm not sure what she responded to. And as Pat Toomey had said, the answers that she gave clearly weren't straightforward. She had spoken out during right in the beginning of the pandemic. And I think that the comments that she made that came under attack had to do with some of the emergency programs that were set up at the Federal Reserve. And she had said that she didn't think that taxpayers should be funding or allowing energy companies to access those emergency loan or funding programs. And if you take that, fine, that was a specific incident. But if that's her thinking, the Fed has already said they're going to start to do stress tests of financial institutions. And part of those stress tests are going to have to do with climate. As you know, the Biden administration, the Fed, all of Washington is beginning to say, hey, we want to look at the risk associated with climate. And all of a sudden, if you get somebody like Sarah Bloom Raskin on the board of the Fed with her bent in terms of going after energy companies, the minute a bank holding company or bank has a loan on the books to an energy company, right there, the risk profile is going to shoot up. So again, there are plenty of ways for her to do, I think, and affect the end that she wants without having direct relevance to those comments she had made under the emergency provisions during the pandemic.
So overall, since we're talking about the Fed, do you believe that the Fed will follow through with at least 4, maybe 5, maybe even a 50 basis point hike, given some of the hot inflation numbers we've seen recently?
Well, look, Joe, I think, our clients here at Moelis certainly have sort of assumed, just as market participants have assumed, that rates are going up. But we have to sort of take a step back and look at the historically low level that they are at. And so what we're seeing is clearly, credit is plentiful. The volatility in the markets certainly present a challenge, but also a lot of opportunity. And as we've seen sort of the IPO and the SPAC markets take somewhat of a breather, I do think that companies are going to be looking for maybe a sale rather than to access the public markets. And obviously for M&A firms like Moelis, that is an optimistic sign, because our clients are certainly demonstrating the will to transact.